we took a couple camping trips, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I took the Rivian up to the Berkshires.
I took the boat out.
You took the boat out. You were more adventurous than me.
It's a large ferry. Yeah.
Yeah. So I had my tents going and running everything off the Rivian's power. My refrigerator. I bought a new griddle. Pretty nice. Electric blanket. Yeah. Because I had an induction burner I used, but then you got to bring a pan. So I try to minimize what I'm bringing. So I got like this round griddle that you can make pizzas on, and
that's cool.
Make some burgers on it if you want. That way you don't have to clean up any pans.
I'll have to check that out.
Yeah, it's 1440 watts, so the Rivian's inverter can run it. Just plug it in. Although it had a problem running the electric blanket and the griddle at the same time, so that's like hard camping. How was the boat ride? It was pretty.
Yeah, that's a little different because But I ended up taking a lot of stuff, but you're kind of restricted on how much you can take.
Yeah.
But my whole thing, I went with like what was it? 16 other dads, and they brought their daughters, and I cooked dinner. So I had to cook for, not everybody was there yet, so I had to cook for 24 people. So I had to bring like all this food with me for the first dinner. So we team up with different dads on different days on different breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So I had dinner Friday night, and we took the boat Friday morning. So I had to carry all that stuff with me. It was a pain, but yeah, you were restricted because we camped on Catalina Island. We had to take a ferry there. So, and they limit you on there.
I don't know how you got all that stuff with you.
Well, you bring it all with you in the car. You get a wagon. You throw it in the wagon. You take it to the dock. You drop it all off. You have to take the wagon back because they don't want your wagon on the boat for whatever reason. So then you have to carry all your stuff at the top of the dock to the bottom of the dock so they can load it on the boat.
Yeah.
And then when you get there, you have to wait, get all your stuff, and then truck it up this ramp. And then they do have trolleys, so you get a trolley and you take it to like a truck, and the truck takes it to your campsite, and you hike to the campsite.
It sounds like way too much work.
It's a lot of work, and I was like, should I bring my wagon, because they'll let you pack up the wagon and bring it, and I would suggest the wagon.
I just don't know how you got all that food for all those people and carried it out there.
And they don't want you. Like, okay, so sleeping bags and tent and stuff, I had to put that in a big, like, sport bag, like a soccer bag, as one bag.
Yep.
So I had two of those bags. I had a cooler, and then I had my backpack, and it had my daughter's clothes and my clothes on it.
Wow.
Yeah, so it was a lot. And when I got there, and the bag broke.
Man. It sounds like fun though. So, yeah. So what else are we going to talk about today? Some pretty cool stuff. First of all, I set up a new Shopify store. So I'm running it concurrent with my commerce store. But yeah, I know you've been trying to get me to do it for a while. Like I've had the same website e-commerce store for like 20 years now.
I thought you made like a slight update, but maybe you made.
I did. Of course. I've upgraded it throughout the years, but I've always used open source OS Commerce. Yeah. And it's kind of like, it's getting harder and harder to support. I have it all customized for my store. I put a lot of customizations in there for a bunch of different things over the years. But I was like, well, how am I going to, I've got like 1,000 customers. No, 11,000 customers that use that store. I had thousands of orders and, hundreds and hundreds of products. Now, how do I move that over? So I used, I was thinking I was going to have to do it all manually, but then I used ChatGTP to generate the SQL to basically move all the products from one store over to Shopify, the new store. I generated the SQL code.
That's pretty awesome, right?
It is. I'm like, I was kind of skeptical before, but now I'm like very impressed, like how it works.
Yeah.
And then I was able to ask it, hey, take my customers and move them all over. So now the customers in the Shopify store, they'll have their info in there already. They'll just, it'll basically ask send them a code to log in, so they don't have to remember their password anymore.
Right.
But it'll have their addresses and everything in there. So that'll make it easier for them.
Brandy Cell or Venus AP.
We're live.
We're live. But yeah, so that was very cool that I was able to do that. And now I'm running both stores together. I'm gonna eventually just shut down the old store, but if you want to make the order either one, go ahead.
Yeah, see, so we have to see who's going to be first to make the order on your new Shopify site.
Exactly. We'll see.
So when I look up KeenanSystems.com, what's going to come up?
Same thing. It's going to go to the same page. Or
when I go to the store, what's going to come up?
Well, the link, the URL Shopify at KeenanSystems.com. But there's a link to it from the homepage. There's a new Wi-Fi store.
So if I go there,
go to KeenanSystems.com, new Wi-Fi store, and that'll
new Wi-Fi store. Oh, so you have Wi-Fi store, new Wi-Fi store.
Yes.
Hmm.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, the Shopify will give I hate to give up control, but yeah, there's a lot of new features we'll be able to use. So
yeah, and there's a lot of statistics and charts and graphs and all kinds of information you can have.
Yeah, a lot of that stuff you don't ever really have the time to use anyway, but I just want to see how it is.
We look at it every day.
You do look at it. Yeah, I mean, I had a lot of that stuff before, but it'll make it easier from, generating point of sale and things like that, right?
Yeah.
I don't
making modifications to like product pages, category pages.
Oh yeah, I added a new product today, and it was real easy. Let's talk about that new product.
Good segue.
2530P ECS2530 switch. FP. Sorry.
Yeah. So it's Ingenious Cloud Switch 2530FP ECS2530FP.
Showing a picture of it.
The two at the beginning that stands for the speed of the port, which is multi-gig. So what were you going to say? Sorry.
No, I'm just saying from the image that I have up there, you can see the 6 SFP plus ports.
Yeah. So this one, So just a little bit about this one. So every single port is multi-gigabit. It is a PoE, and it does have 6 SFP ports. This is the only switch that is set up like this.
Yeah.
So if you have a lot of uplinks and say in like large buildings, you're running fiber uplink ports or uplinks to different switches and things. You can spread that out. This one's PoE, so it has 740 watt, which typically are 24 ports or 410 watts. So you might ask, why is it 740 watt? Because it does support PoE, PoE plus, and PoE plus plus.
POH.
So, what's that?
POH.
POH.
Yeah, that's what PoE plus plus is basically.
No, it's BT.
Yeah, BT and POH.
POH. What's POH? POH. POEH? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, POH. It's also known as POH. POH. But it's just semantics.
I don't know that.
You haven't heard that? Okay. BT, POH is kind of interchangeable, but there are different versions, right? There's like 60 watt, 90 watt. And which one does this support? Does it support 60 watt on each port?
Up to 60 watts, on the ports.
Okay.
So you could basically run almost 2536s on that particular switch.
Right. So yeah, I mean, this is going to be great for the 536s because right now we just have an 8-port PoE++ switch for them, right?
Yeah. So you can run the 270s off of this, the 536 off of this, right?
Mm-hmm.
The 536 is, I think the power consumption's like 38 watts.
Yeah, it can use a lot of power. I'm actually running mine on the standalone power supplies for that reason.
The injectors.
Well, no, I'm using DC power supply on mine.
Oh, got it. Oh, I didn't know you were doing that.
Yeah, because I have an ECS2530FP here, which is only PoE plus, right? So we've been wanting a 24 PoE plus switch for a while. And the other thing is this supports multi-gig on all ports.
Multi-gig, yes, on every single port versus, so you have what, the 2530 and the 2528, right?
Right.
Yeah, so on the 2528, you have 410 watt power budget. It supports PoE plus, and it runs multi-gigabit on 8 of the ports,
right,
and 1 gigabit on 16 of the ports. So that's like the difference.
And you couldn't use that with the 536 because it's only PoE plus.
That's right.
But now I'm thinking a little bit more about our current switch, the ECS. What's the current switch? It's the ECS 50.
Oh, the 10 gigabit, 5512 FP.
5512 FP, exactly. So that one is 10 gigabit in every port. So if you are using the Wi-Fi 7 access points for like local data copy, like to a NAS server, you're moving images around and you want to have that 10 gig, uplink for the access points, then the 5512 FP makes sense, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, because
just really quick correction on that. The 2530 it powers up to 90 watts.
It does do 90 watts. Okay.
Yeah.
So that can run other devices besides access points, basically.
Yeah. Yep. Like PTZ cameras, for example. Some of those are heavy on the power consumption. Right. Yeah. So there's multiple things that you can do with that switch.
Yeah. So I mean, so you have to make sure you have enough power for the top end 530 ECW 536 AP, and this one will provide it as well as the ECS 5512 FP. So that's good, and that's coming in a little bit.
Yeah, July timeframe, I think.
July timeframe. All right. So I also wanted to talk a little bit about the PDUs, so that they're getting a lot more popular, right?
Oh yeah, for sure.
And not only for just to be able to remotely power cycle something, but you also get a lot of information from the Ingenious PDU. Like it'll basically tell you how much power each outlet's drawing, right? So like you can see on mine, how much my cable modem's using. That switch I have the multi-gig 24-port switch, how much that's using. So I think for data centers, it's good to know now how much power each device is using.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Get that all through the cloud, right? But not only that, is you can link what device is plugged in, which cloud device is plugged into the PDU port. So like on mine, I have, one set as the router, one is the cable modem. And then you can program the PDU to, power cycle those devices if the internet connection goes away, right?
That's right. Yeah. We see that a lot actually. Why people are considering it and looking into it.
Yeah.
And we've dealt with a lot of large, I'll call it retail, where you have not a small IT team, but when the business is spread out across the nation, this is one of the things that they've been looking at to use. So they can do everything through the cloud or through an app, or they can set up a reboot if something does occur.
Well, yeah, I could see if you have a lot of store locations with POS or something and the internet goes down, you could set this thing up so that first recycles the cable modem, then recycles the router. And then if it still doesn't come back, then send an alert, right? Like after 5 minutes or something. So it's going to make it a lot easier to manage lots of remote locations, I would say.
Oh yeah, 100%. Like, so think about like storage companies, like the larger storage companies, where they have a lot of locations, and the staff that typically are at those locations, they're not IT savvy, I guess I would say. And then you have a central IT team that can monitor or manage like their power from pretty much anywhere.
Sure. So yeah, it's definitely something to look into if you're running the rest of the cloud, for sure. All right, Brian, anything else you want to talk about this week?
No, I think that we covered everything.